Hello, collective. I think I've got everything and up the right way. Okay. So, this is another random one, but I know you guys have asked me about scapegoat syndrome and wanting more videos about it. And I know depending on the country that you live in, uh, there's a lot of holidays that are even taking place at the end of November. Most of the big holidays happen in December worldwide, but you know, in the US, for example, there's Thanksgiving. Um, and then we have like so many different religious holidays, some happening here in November, others happening in December. So I just wanted to make this video in terms of navigating the holidays. And for those of you who do not know, for example, my birthday is on a really big holiday as well. So to kind of go through the ins and outs of this energy and what it is that we need to know. Hi, hello. Yeah, so going through the ins and outs of this energy and what it is that we need to know. So, scapegoat syndrome, Capricorn, navigating the holidays. When it comes to this, you guys have gone through a major release when it comes to Pluto exiting your sign. We have Pisces finally has gone direct in Saturn. We're still going through an Aries retrograde in Chiron. So nonetheless, there's a lot of things that we just left Scorpio season, which for you guys is about your social life and your social dynamics. Hi. So in this case, there's a lot of things tied to, again, your social power, your social empowerment, especially as Mars is still in Leo, right? So who is it that you are, your social dominance, your social power, and how you will navigate. And this is why I keep going back to scapegoat syndrome, mainly because when Pluto is in your sign, you can often be a target for a lot. And that's anybody who has Pluto in their sign. I'm just thinking about different celebrities that, like, when they are Sagittarius suns and when Sagittarius was in Pluto, they were targets for a lot of, I guess, let's say, scapegoat energy. I think one of the biggest ones is like Britney Spears, right? So when we're looking at Pluto being in your sign, you tend to be a magnet for narcissism, a magnet for abusive behaviors, and all of the above, because there's no, unfortunately, greater way to grow outside of growth through opposition. And oftentimes, opposition comes to the form of abuse, right? So now that you are out of this karmic cycle, as Pluto has left your sign, you guys are having to, for those of you who have been affected by scapegoat syndrome, it's navigating yourself out of this. So when we're talking about the holidays and we're talking about Capricorn energy, because you guys can be the bearers of responsibility and pressure, and then allowing yourselves to be scapegoats because of hyper responsibility, and then traditionalism, especially when we're talking about family dynamics and pressure when it comes to relationships and things like that. You can, again, allow yourself to be weighed down upon when it comes to this. So I wanted to kind of go into it a little bit in terms of breaking free of this energy when it comes to this time period and understanding. I don't like to use the word narcissist. I try to stay away from the let's say, the grammatical terms, and I like to just kind of say things from the more spiritual lens, which can be some harsh words, but those who are empty, the vortex sitting inside of themselves, um, good, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. So those types of personality types, let's say the toxic personality types, right? Sick, they carry the sickness inside. So in order to allow yourself to not be scapegoated, it's important to understand how not to get caught in certain traps. That's scapegoatism through compliments. So if you guys are in situations, especially when it comes to family dynamics, where let's say you have been a family scapegoat, but now they want you back, especially because a lot of you guys have gone through a lot of changes over the past year in specific. So the same people that could have put you down might be wanting to have you back around. Also, if you've been distancing yourself, and a lot of you guys have been doing that as you've been gaining so much momentum when it comes to self-confidence and self-assurance, that energy can be very pulling and attractive. Venus is also in Capricorn, so all eyes are on you, and there's a desire to kind of pull at your energy. It's important to set boundaries and understand that scapegoat syndrome is not always people criticizing you, but it is also people complimenting you. You can become a scapegoat through, let's say, the road to hell being paved through good intentions, right? The person that gives you an intentional compliment just to kind of manipulate you back into a system, right? So it's important to understand that if you are no contact, remain that no contact or keep things at minimal contact. If a compliment is given to you by someone that once um, maybe shunned you or resisted you or something along those lines, do not allow yourself to get lost in the illusion of the magic of the holidays in that sense, right? It's important to understand that that is also a method of getting you wrapped up, okay? Another thing as well is when we're talking about not being seen when it comes to scapegoat syndrome. So you can be the person that is filled of great accomplishments, accolades, whatever it may be. When you are dealing with toxic personality types, they like to go out of their way to make you feel like you are not good enough. So if you're standing in a room, if it's your partner, if it's your family, or whatever it may be, that feeling of kind of being shunned, or again, your accomplishments or what it is that you do is kind of put down or put in the back burner, and it can feel like maybe someone who didn't accomplish nearly as much or didn't do nearly as much as you did is giving more attention or giving more praise or something along those lines. That's done by the design. It's done to make you feel like you're not good enough. It's done to kind of make you beg for attention or beg for approval, beg to be seen, especially when it comes to love. This is a big thing, and a lot of you guys, like we saw in the recent love reading, karmic cycles tied to narcissism, tied to people. I said the word narcissism, sorry, tied to toxic relationship patterns that, again, that we're finding you during Pluto in order to help you to transform. So it's breaking out of that and not beating on the chest of someone that does not want to see you or does not value you. This goes with family, it goes with partners, it goes with all of these dynamics when it comes to the holidays. Understand that if you have to ask for it, it should not, sorry, if you have to ask for something that should be given, then it's not worth it. Okay? It should be given. Attention should be given. Praise should be given. Love should be given. Um, these are the things that are automatic. You should not have to be put in a position where you are begging for something that should naturally be given to you. Okay, so it's important to understand that as well. And if you feel like you are, like, you know, you are better than what it is that you are being treated like, or you know you deserve more attention than what it is that you're getting, it's done by design. It's done to take you down, put you down, make you feel like you're not good enough, just to take you down a few pegs. Okay, and you don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation, especially if it's an entire room and you are being scapegoated. Again, it's important to understand that the scapegoat does not always mean that there's something wrong with you. A lot of the time, the scapegoat can be scapegoated because of success. Okay, you have two types of scapegoats. You have the one that is successful and nobody wants to give you that credit because of envy or jealousy or whatever it is that they may be feeling. And then you have the other side, which is the more traditional scapegoat, which is kind of putting you down, maybe because of the ways in which you are different or your flaws or your shortcomings. At the end of the day, you do not have to endure anything that is not worth enduring, because it's important to not put yourself in situations where you're being hyper responsible or hyper traditional or overly giving. You know, the giving tree is something I just finished recording the personal for December, and I spoke a lot about the giving tree energy. Okay, it's important to not put yourself in that position just because you have healed or you want to give the love that you have now been feeling. It's okay to prioritize the self. For you guys as Capricorns, you're already going through a lot. You've been going through this great release. Give yourself a break and allow yourself to self-prioritize. It's okay to maybe have a more isolated experience this time around when it comes to the holiday season as you navigate into November and December, and these moments of frankly, they can be very loaded when you're talking about family, you're talking about love in the space that you sit, especially where you guys are right now. You're kind of in a tender space. It's okay to honor that. You just went through the end of a major cycle. Don't force yourself into a certain dynamic. Don't allow yourself to be complimented into a trap. Do not allow yourself to be put down or ignored into begging for attention that should naturally be given to you. Okay? My suggestion is, if you can avoid the social situations altogether, I would say do so. Give yourself at least a year's break. If you cannot deal with people that maybe you are no contact with and you don't want to re enter contact, honor yourself and do that. The Pluto in general a lot of the transits in general are asking you to honor yourself as much as you. Thank you. It's important to honor yourself as much as you possibly can because you deserve that. Okay. Let go of hyper responsibility. Also, let go of the ego side of Capricorn that says, "Oh, I have to, come off like I'm so well put together," or the status or whatever it is. It's not worth it. You get trapped by status. Think status. Think scapegoat. Right. If you're too attached to your status, you can easily be scapegoated. If you're too attached to acceptance, you can be scapegoated. It's all codependency. It's all a dance of codependency. You don't need anyone. All right. And do not be attached to tradition or hyper responsibility because you can get yourself stuck. This year, I want you to honor yourselves at the best rate that you possibly can. Take care of yourselves in the best way that you possibly can. And do not allow any of those modalities to be ways in which you pressurize yourself into boxes. Okay. So that's what I've got for you. I was going to go more into the depth of like some of my secrets when it comes to surviving scapegoat syndrome. As you guys know, I have a service for surviving scapegoat syndrome called my Healing Restoration Service. But, we'll talk about this at another time when it comes to how to restore this energy and how to honor the self. But where you fight scapegoat syndrome, it's all self-love, okay? Self-love first. Think of yourself as a child. If you as a child do not want to be in the room, if you do not want your child in an uncomfortable situation, don't put yourself in it. Don't put yourself in it, okay? If that child doesn't deserve it, neither do you. All right. So that's where we are when it comes to this. And I hope I gave you guys a little bit of peace of mind, I guess. If you would like more, let me know, or want me to dive into deeper details, also let me know. I love you. Ciao. Oh, and welcome to the Healing Circle. This is in the Healing Circle, or connected to the Healing Circle. I'll link it in the bio.